is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
It's 21 questions here on KC Sports Network. Thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a 5-star review if you're listening. I'm here with my buddy Joel Penfield, about to answer a bunch of the questions from the KCSN Substack Discord. Joel, how are we?
I'm doing pretty great. We just finished up watching Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce just absolutely bop Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on the golf course. All while they drank, I don't know, about triple what Steph and Klay did, and they still just beat the crap out of him. It was amazing.
It's weird. When Patrick Mahomes goes up against the Bay Area in big moments, he seems to have the best of them. So
I won a few bucks on it too, because I grabbed Mahomes Kelce after the first hole plus 290, and by the fourth hole they were minus 1,800. So won a few dollars. Watched the greatest athlete ever just find another sport to just be really good in for no reason. And
it would have been funny for like Kansas City, like in such a low stakes environment, to bet against Patrick Mahomes just to see what it felt like.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't, but cannot relate. Thanks everybody that asked questions though. If you want to ask questions, just subscribe to the KCSN Substack. I think it's $30 a year. You get access to the premium content at KC Sports Network. That's a lot of the film breakdowns and some of the premium articles that we have there on the Substack. But you also get access to the KCSN Discord, which is a thriving, growing, absolutely great community of Chiefs fans, the KCSN Discord. And we asked the questions, or we asked for questions there. That's where we get them, and it is a lot of fun. So make sure you're not missing out on that. Brandon W asks, what is the best answer to the KCSN hot take tweet? If you haven't seen it, we asked on KC Sports Network what hot take would result in just everyone freaking out and going up in arms. Do you have one?
Well, I agree with Tucker. I don't know if you saw Tucker's tweet. That was like a lot of people were mistaking hot takes for bad takes.
Yeah,
I appreciate all of our supporters. There are some rough ones in there, y'all. Like not even like hot. They're just not great. I don't know if you can consider it a hot take, but I think I agree. I think red on red is overrated.
I agree. I've kind of come down on the red on red. I actually have a hot take. I think the classic Chiefs jersey look needs a refresh. I mean, it's not just the red on red. It's just like I think this team needs a little bit of a jersey refresh, but I don't know how you do it. I don't know.
I don't think you do it until there's like a down year, if there ever is. Like my theory. So here is my theory. And this is my theory across all sports. The only teams that do jersey refreshes and rebrand are bad teams that need to distract their fans in the offseason. Think about who's done jersey refreshes the last few years. The Bengals before they got good. The Patriots after Brady left. The Cardinals just did it.
Nick, our producer,
the Falcons, yes.
Good point.
And you can look to baseball too. Like any sport, if you see a team go, we're dropping a refresh this offseason, means you had a terrible year and you're trying to distract your fans.
Grayson Jaspers. Does the linebacker depth that the Chiefs brought in an undrafted free agency sway your opinion at all when it comes to trading Willie Gay? I don't think the Chiefs should trade Willie Gay. I don't think they're going to get a ton of value for Willie Gay on a one-year deal. I think teams would be asking questions why you're trading Willie Gay at this point. So I don't think they should do it. I do think that there are some very interesting undrafted free agent talents. Isaiah Moore and Cam Jones, I think, both have a chance to supplant Jack Conklin. So both, I think they both provide some value as a linebacker and have the same kind of special teams value. So I don't think there's anything that's. I think Willie Gay is going to stay on the Chiefs. It's going to be interesting to see his role though this season for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, Drew Tranquill is coming in and seems like he's going to take a lot of those reps. So I guess it's a matter of, do the two UDFA guys provide value that Willie Gay doesn't have? Like it's kind of a weird spot, but I think Willie Gay this is his fourth year. Even though his role may be diminished, I think he still provides more value than the other two guys do.
Mike Denny asks, any action you hope to see from the Chiefs before training camp? You got anything, Joel?
D-Hop's still sitting out there. And If he wanted to go to the Titans and the Patriots, he would have signed by now.
Yep. I agree.
So if they free up money with a Chris Jones extension, then I think because D-Hop is sitting there just praying that a good quarterback from a team calls him up and goes, come play for us. Because I don't think he wants to go play with Mac Jones and Ryan Tannehill / Will Levis / Malik Willis.
Yeah, D-Hop, at the right price, D-Hop. Outside of that, like, honestly, if the Chiefs, I don't want to see any moves because that means the Chiefs really like what they have at defensive end, for instance.
Yeah.
That means they like BJ Thompson. They like that they're seeing out of Felix Anudike-Uzomah. So, like, if they're not grabbing a D end, like, that means they're, like they like what they see out of this edge group, this rookie class. So I don't know if there's a ton of big moves I really want to see him make, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd get a Chris Jones deal done. Like, that's it. I mean, that's really it. Christian Gumminger, our guy, asks, who from KCSN do you trust to make you dinner? Ooh, I like this question. I have one. Yep.
It's Craig.
It's Craig. Craig would probably show off a little bit too. So you'd probably get a cuisine that is a little bit like maybe, hey, we're going Ethiopian today. Like, he's going to try to go a little bit off the beaten path of, like, your traditional fare. Craig can cook a little bit. I will just tell you, I'm not claiming, like, I mean, my skill set's narrow, but, like, I got a few things. I got a few things that are pretty popular.
You wish go crazy on the smoker a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. It's the smoker. I'm doing a brisket this weekend, so I'm pretty excited about that. I primed a brisket. Now the funny thing is, what I'd do is I'd sign Chief Bearcat to a 1-day contract at KCSN.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, I mean, he's done a good job of guiding me on my cooks and stuff. So he's been a big help. But Craig can steer you right. Grayson Jaspers, who from KCSN would you not let babysit your kids and you can't say Tucker?
Man, I'm gonna go with Maddie because I'm afraid that he'll put him to my kid to work on the farm. Get him baling hay or something. I don't know.
I love Jordy Foote, but Jordy's a kid, man. He doesn't have kids yet, so, like, there's that. My guy B-Turn.
Oh no, okay, that's fair. Yeah.
My guy, I don't know B-Turn. I don't know if B-Turn's babysat a kid before. I'm gonna have to find out.
I guess, and this is not a shot at them, but just any of the 3-Maw guys, just because I don't need my kid getting indoctrinated with K-State crap. So
yeah, Cole,
I can't do it.
Cole lives, like, a neighborhood across the street from me. And, like, he's totally indoctrinating his kid, of course, in K-State. So, like, I see that I'll see Cole like dropping his kid off at because our kids go to the same school. So I'll see, and, like, his kid's always decked out in K-State stuff. Like, yeah, we gotta keep him away from that. We gotta pat that down a little bit, obviously. Okay. Let's see here. Julian K1010 with Rice. This is specifically for you, Joel, I think. Will the Royals ever be good again?
Yes, let's, like, guys.
Actually, no, Joel, I need to hear this. Let's hear it.
Like, they're not going to be this bad forever. Like, the Diamondbacks were horrific 3 years ago. They're good now. Like, the Rays were terrible right around that first year of Kevin Cash. They're fine now. The Rangers were horrific 2 years ago. They're good now. Like, teams do not stay down like this forever. Like, is it going to take a little longer than we thought? Yes. But I think the right people are in place in the organization to help turn things around. Like, I know that people already want Contreras' head on a pike, and I think y'all are idiots for it because I think he's the right guy for the job. I think JJ's done a really good job over the last few months. And I think they've done a great job on the development side, changing a lot of the philosophies from the previous regime.
Well, I'm not gonna let you off the hook yet. I want to know why. Like, what are the indicators for this organization that are getting you optimistic? We'll start with JJ. I'm not criticizing JJ. Like, I'm not ready to move on from Jay. Let me set the record straight when I say this. I think it's too early on JJ. I think it's too early on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it about JJ the last couple months that gives you optimism?
Dayton Moore would not have DFA'd Hunter Dozier. Dayton Moore would not have traded Adalberto Mondesi. Dayton Moore would not have cut bait with Ryan O'Hearn. Dayton Moore probably what was the most recent move? Crap, I just lost it. Honestly, a lot of it is on the development side too. Like that's the main thing. JJ, I don't know if y'all knew, but when JJ was the like special assistant to the GM, like right below Dayton, he oversaw the stuff on the hitting side. Like he was the main reason why they brought in Drew Saylor and they completely overhauled everything. And they've helped do that on the pitching side now with Brian Sweeney, Zach Bove, and they've completely overhauled that. And you're seeing significant improvement at the lower levels with guys that like are a part of the future of the organization, like Mazzucato, Kudrna, Chandler Champlain, Shane Panzini. These guys are all made ridiculous improvements in just 1 year. Like sometimes it is just that simple. But I think it's little things like that. It's being a little more transactional, being willing to just, even though it may not lead to a bunch of wins right now, but just pushing the chips into the middle of the table and going, young guys, sink or swim. Like we got to figure this out right now. And being able to overhaul the development on the minor leagues gives me reason for confidence, at least right now.
So do you think it's hard to make those kind of transitions with the big league club and the big league players?
Yes. There is a certain element of that. Like, and it's also like, I know I think a lot of the young guys are good, but when you have 7 rookies in the lineup, 7 rookies or first year guys in the lineup every single day, that is not easy. Like it's not unprecedented, but you don't see it very often. And normally it's not pretty, but in a year where you have to evaluate, that was what this year was. And we've talked about that from the beginning on One Royal Way. Like this is a year to evaluate what you have and what you don't have so that in 23 and 24 and on, you can make the necessary changes to the big league roster to be successful. That's what it is.
Well, they're putting the L in evaluate. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network. Entertain, educate, inform. KC Sports Network.
Isaac Hugh asks if you could steal 5 players from any team in the league to fix the Royals, who would you take? I want to hear this from you. I get Ohtani's the free space.
Shohei Ohtani, duh. And then I'd probably go. So I'm going to try and go. Shohei Ohtani kind of fits the start like a pitcher and a reliever. But I'll go reliever, another starting pitcher, 3 position players. But I'll go Shohei, Freddie Freeman, Corbin Carroll, Ronald Acuna Jr., and my 5th one is going to be Roki Sasaki, who is in the NPB. He was a dude from the World Baseball Classic that's like 23, throws 102. Like he's basically he's a better pitcher than Shohei Ohtani.
Okay. Wow.
I'd bring him over right now and just here. Yeah.
Okay. Shohei's the free space for me. I was like a little surprised on Freddie Freeman, I guess, but like,
he's so good, man. Like he is just the model of consistency. You don't think about him being it, but he's hitting like 330 right now for the Dodgers. Just
he's
mans the post every day. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
It's so weird for me. I think this generation, it's so weird to capture Hall of Famers because it's just so fascinating to see. Like, obviously, like, he'll have some of the statistics and stuff, but like voters are going to have to start sooner or later adjusting to some of these statistics that may not look the exact same as they used to for some of these older eras of baseball. It's going to be interesting. Julian K, what's more likely? The NBA puts an expansion team in KC or the Royals leave KC? It's more likely that the NBA puts an expansion team in KC. I really don't think the Royals are leaving.
The Royals aren't going anywhere.
I
know. I understand that like the stadium stuff is scaring some people right now because it's starting to get contentious between the city and the organization. The Royals aren't going anywhere. Like the ownership group is committed to keeping the team in Kansas City. They feel that it is best for the organization moving forward to have its own place in downtown. Remember, like even minority owners in the team are like moving to Kansas City to be here, to be around the team, and to still like be a part of it.
Patrick Mahomes,
Eric Stone Street. Yeah, like there's other dudes. Like there are people that are that are not local to Kansas City that are moving here to be a part of this. So the team's not going anywhere. Can I add an interesting point to the expansion aspect? What do you think is more likely, NBA or NHL? Because I think like that my hang up with the NBA is college basketball is so massive here. Like, I don't know if there's the same draw to the NBA, and that's not a college basketball is better than the NBA sort of narrative. But just I think the fan base is so rabid for Mizzou, KU, K-State basketball. I don't know if they'd support it, but I think something brand new like the NHL, you could.
I think, well, if it's pure expansion, I think it's NBA. If
Okay,
it's because I don't think the NHL is going to expand. They have
32. That's
right. 32. NBA is not at 32 yet, so there's room for expansion there. So there's that. It's tricky. It's tough. I don't think either are super likely. If I'm being honest, I think the Chiefs, or I think KC has a better chance of attracting an NBA team than they do an NHL team, personally.
I think that's fair.
And I think it'll be interesting when the NBA expansion stuff comes up, because this is no joke. I'm not saying like this is not sourced or anything, but like I feel like Patrick Mahomes could have a say.
1,000%. He's one of the most popular athletes in the world. Like,
yeah,
there's going to be a draw.
I genuinely think he could be a big asset in trying to get an NBA team to Kansas City. So if he wants one, he'll have a say.
I mean, hell, when the thing with the Coyotes came up, the Arizona Coyotes, and he got in that.
Yep. Casey from KC, does the secondary markedly increase the number of interceptions this year? I think so. And here's why. Last year, Chiefs played a lot of basic static cover 2. And it's a lot because they had a very young secondary, a lot of young players that they were just trying to get on the field, execute at a high level what they were good at. Didn't throw a ton on their plate because they didn't feel confident enough to be able to mix things up as much as Steve Spagnuolo would like to. Another year in the system, this whole group's back. I think this is a group that can get more ball production because they're being a little bit more exotic, and they're all playing with a little bit more confidence in the scheme and being able to play and let those instincts kick in. So I think you'll see more ball production. I think you saw a little bit of ball production as the season went on. Jalen Watson.
That's what I mean. That's what I was going to get to. Yeah. Jalen Watson had multiple picks in the playoffs. Brian Cook, made the play that helped the Joshua Williams interception. Joshua Williams had a couple picks. McDuffie was always around the ball. It never came to him, but he's such a good player that I can't imagine he's going to go at his second season in the league without a pick. And then L'Jarius Sneed, there has been ball production for his entire time in Kansas City. Like, there's reason to believe that these guys are only going to get better. And some of that is just another year. They have there's at least some sample of ball production. I have no reason to believe that they can't improve.
Lee 87, best live sporting experience you've encountered and what made it the best?
Man, I thought about this a lot. This was the one question I thought about pretty much all day, but I'll go to this one. There's a little personal story, but it was my freshman year of college at Oklahoma State. So this was 2015, playing TCU, and the game was on my birthday. And it was a Saturday afternoon, and that was like the Trevon Boykin, Josh Doxson TCU team that was just bopping everybody. And that was a young Mason Rudolph and James Washington for Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State just put it on them. I just remember seeing just deep shot after deep shot to James Washington and Marcel Laitman put up. I think it was like 45-23, something like that. The one play that I vividly remember was 4th and goal for TCU on like the 2-yard line, going into the end zone, the student section side of like the horseshoe at Oklahoma State. So the paddles are going, it's nuts. Stopped them short, and that place just erupted. It was crazy. I'll never forget that. And that was also the first date that I had with my now wife. She stood next to me at the game. And so so it was my birthday, TCU or Oklahoma State whooped up on TCU, and it was the first date with my wife now. So.
A little monumental.
Yes.
A hint of monumental. I was one of the 150,000 people that claims to be at the wild card game, the AL wild card game between the A's. Yep. I was actually there.
Oh,
so me and 3 of my friends decided that we were gonna go like day of. We couldn't find 4 seats together, so we had to split up. Me and one of my buddies sat up like third deck or upper deck. Sorry. We sat like really way down the left field line. We didn't talk for like 4 innings because the Royals were getting beat. Just sad. And yeah, a couple seats cleared out because some people left because the Royals were down and they were right next to my friend. So he texted us and like, hey, we have seats together. Why don't you guys come down? And that's literally right as the comeback started.
Oh man.
So like we all got to be together. We all got to hang out and watch the comeback together in 4 seats. And the seats that they had were upper deck still, but they were, more centralized. They were a little bit up the third baseline. So we're all together getting to watch, all the fun parts of that night together.
Yeah.
I sobbed, dude. Like I sobbed. Like I've been a Royals. Like I know I make jokes about the Royals. I love the Royals so much. Like Joel can, I love them dearly.
Yeah.
And it's sad. Like what we're experiencing right now as Royals fans is depressing. But if you've been experienced seasons like this, the joy and elation of 2014 and 2015. So like I sobbed.
Do you want to know something sad, Kent?
You had a chance to go and you blew it.
I fell asleep. I didn't know the Royals won until I woke up the next morning. So,
yikes.
Little context. That was my senior year of high school. I was playing football.
Ooh, you are young.
26.
You're young. I didn't realize you were that young. I feel so old right now.
Oh, shut up, Kent. But like I was playing high school football. I was the quarterback. We literally played 11-man football with 11 people. So we were exhausted all the time, having to play both ways and special teams and all that stuff. And so I had school the next morning because I was so damn tired. I just fell asleep. It was 10th inning. I think the A's had gone up 6-5 on a sac fly. And I just turned the TV off and went to bed thinking, okay, well, they made it to the playoffs. They gave it a shot. Woke up the next morning to see the salve hits. The first thing I saw, I was like, I am the worst person ever. I cannot believe that I fell asleep before that happened.
I stayed up till like 3 a.m. that night because you stay there. We stayed there in the stadium for a while. We relished it all.
Yeah.
We finally got home and I watched like so many moments of that game on repeat. Like I watched, Sports Center, but I was watching my phone and all that stuff. And just, dude, I'm not joking you. I cried like 4 times that night. Like they just kept getting me. Like I don't know, man. Like it's a special kind of I don't know. It's a special kind of moment. Like we're never going to get.
What made you more emotional? The Chiefs' first Super Bowl or the World Series in 15?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. If you'd asked me 10 years ago, I would have said it'd been the Royals easily just because like I know how hard, I think because of Mahomes, like Mahomes factor changes everything. I don't think
that's very fair.
I didn't cry I haven't cried about the Chiefs ever. I don't think, but it's different emotional responses and it's it's changed everything. And like, I think it's different. I honestly think my relationship and the emotions I have are different for both. Mahomes has just changed everything. It's like, there's like, it's not, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I think knowing how beat down I've been as a Royals fan my whole life, and not to say I haven't been beat down as a Chiefs fan my whole life, it's just different. Like we've seen tastes of the postseason and good football teams in Kansas City, and you got put through the ringer if you were a Royals fan, and you're still getting put through the ringer. And you know what? Look, if you tell me the next 20 years I have to endure this, knowing that the Chiefs or the Royals won a pennant, 2 pennants, and a World Series in my lifetime, back to back, I can live. Because that was special. Lee 87 also asked if Joel was offered the Royals GM job, what's your 10-step plan to writing the organization? You don't need 10.
I don't have 10. I have 1. I have one, and it's hire a crap ton of people from the Dodgers and Rays scouting, PD, and analytics departments, and bring them here.
All right, moving on. Corey Peter. My 10-year-old has been begging to take me to a Royals game this summer. Which game do you recommend I take him? And his little brothers too. Is it the Rays, Twins, or Mariners?
Ooh,
Oh, you're going to
I'm
say the
not.
Mariners. You're not allowed to say the Mariners because you're a
No,
Mariners.
I wasn't going to. I was actually going to say the Rays.
Okay.
Because you want to see what the Royals are trying to build as a small market team that doesn't spend a ton of money and is trying to do a lot of it through analytics and player development. That's the blueprint. That's where Paul Hoover, Matt Quatrero come from. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. But if you want to see what it can look like, it's Tampa.
Like it. B. Higgs, Prince Felix, money and public interest are no factor. What would you do with the Royals and Chiefs stadium situations? So, I'd move the Royals downtown.
Yep.
And then I would build a new Arrowhead. I know some people are like really wanting to hold on. I'm not super
it's a
sentimental.
50-year-old stadium.
I'm not like, I'm just not super sentimental with stadiums. Like, I don't know. Like,
I understand it. Like the element of like it's going to be weird not going to games at Kauffman Stadium. It's going to be weird not going to games at Arrowhead. But these stadiums are over 50 years old. Like they don't last. They're not meant to last that long. And
the allure
it's just
of
for a change. Like it's just time for a change. And I understand it. And there's a certain element of it too. Like Chiefs deserve their own place. They've earned that.
It's the allure of newness, I think, will get people over. And it's the fear of the unknown, like I think that will like mess with some people. Like, and dude, I don't like I know John Sherman, like, you know, I think there's some like what he was quoted as, like, I don't think he was dunking on the K as much as some people are saying. I don't think the K is a bad stadium. I think it's a completely fine baseball experience. But a new downtown experience, you don't know what you don't know. And I think it would be really special for the city. And I think a new Arrowhead for Kansas City, I think they'll build one in Patrick Mahomes' time here.
That was the point I had and I've thought about a lot is I think there is an element of giving like the house that Mahomes built sort of thing while he's still playing. Because like it's probably not going to happen until like 2030, something like that, 2028, 2030, whenever the Royals are out. And you still got to bulldoze Kauffman and build the new stadium. But Mahomes will still be in his mid-30s. He'll still be playing. To have a new stadium that he had, whether he either directly or indirectly a hand in because of the success, I think there's a certain element of that.
Grayson Jaspers asks if we're overestimating Charles Omenihu and what he can bring to a defense. I don't think, and he cites the 11.5 career sacks. I don't think the reason that you're bringing Charles Omenihu in is just because of a ton of sack production. What he can do, he can disrupt the quarterback. He's good against the run. He has the inside-outside versatility. Like, he's a weapon on this defense. Is he going to be better than Frank Clark this year as a complete player? I think the answer is probably yes. So if that's the case, I think people are getting, I think some people might be getting like overly excited maybe about him, and maybe that's what you're asking. But like, I think when you look at the roster composition of this team, I don't think he's overestimated. I think he's appropriately estimated in my eyes because like, I think he's just another really solid body, and the Chiefs haven't needed to build a team through, a ton of defensive end production. They've got Chris Jones around them. So
yeah,
I think it's just continuing to stack and build good defensive ends. And like, I think Charles Omenihu is one of those. So,
yeah. I mean, and to be fair, like the dude is competing for sack production with Nick Bosa. Like you're not going to get a ton when that guy's getting 16, 17 and a half a year.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. HT 101 Owen, he's kind of doing some math on getting, Patrick Mahomes to the 5,000 range, but we're going to do a quick, he gave some numbers to get him there. Okay. So I'm going to ask you these questions over under on all these players.
I did my own if you are intrigued by that.
Well, let's just do it with the over. Let's do it with the over unders. Let's do this. Okay. Kelsey at 1,100 over under, Joel.
I said over. I said 1,200.
I think you're right. Sky Moore at 550 yards over under.
Over.
I'm gonna go
said around
under.
7. I'm gonna go over just because I think there's like because of the yak opportunities he provides over the middle of the field and like beating Derwin James like a drum over the middle of the field on crossing routes. Like there's gonna be enough of those like that overshot, like the kind of that deep cross or whatever that like McColl and Tyreek ran. I think I can see him run that from the slot and pull a bunch from there.
I think it's a really good line. I think I'm like a slide under. I think it's like 5. I think it's above 500, but under 550. Kadarius Toney at 500 yards, over under.
I said over, and that's just because with this thought exercise, I'm assuming full health over a 17-game season. I'm not baking in injuries.
I mean, if he plays 17, he's going closer to Kelsey than he is.
I said 850 on mine.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'd say over on Toney. Justin Watson at 600 yards. I'm going super under.
Super under. I think I said 400 just to be generous. Just because I don't know who else. I don't know how much Justin Ross or Richie James or any of them are going to get run over him. But I'm not going to think. There's no way he gets 600 yards.
Jody Fortson is at 400 yards, and Jody Fortson has 155 career yards. So I'm going super under again.
Fortson wasn't even on my list.
Yeah, Jet McKinnon over under 600 yards.
I said under. It's not necessarily that last year was an anomaly, but I think it's going to be a much more even split between him and Pacheco. He only some of that screen production.
He got 500 yards last year. I think I'd go under, but I think 500 is about right.
I said 350 on mine, just because I think it's going to be a little more of an even split. I have Pacheco at 300 as well.
So Pacheco over under. You'd take under 400.
Mm-hmm.
Rashee Rice at 300 over under.
That's exactly what I had. I'll push that.
I think I'd take the over. I think I'd take the over on Rashee Rice at 300.
I was just because it's so tough to know with year one receivers and Reed's system.
I think he's going to wind up having more yards than Sky Moore this year. That's just.
I agree with that.
Then Sky Moore is rookie year. I mean, sorry,
yeah.
But yeah. Richie James, does he make the team, and is he over under 400?
I didn't even put him on my list because I kind of forgot about Richie James.
Yeah.
So
I think Richie James has a tough sledding to make the team. Like I think he's going to be tough to make the team, but I'd take under. But like if he gets on the roster, he'll have some production too. Noah Gray over under 200 yards.
I said over 250.
Okay. Marquez Valdes-Scantling over 500 yards.
I said over. I got him at 700 because that's about what he had last year, and he was very up and down. So if he is able to stabilize a little bit, he could easily get there.
Okay. All right. Maddie asks this question: what American Gladiator event would you do the best and worst at?
So I loved American Gladiators when I was a kid. I watched the reruns all the time. The event I would do the best at is the Assault, which was the
tennis ball shooting game.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one because less physicality, and I got enough short area quickness that I think I'd be okay. Though anything that was like super physical, like Joust or the Pyramid or the Gauntlet, I would get thrown around like a rag doll, and that would not go well.
I don't think I do go with the Joust. I don't have good grip strength. I'm old and I have arthritis, so there's that problem. So I don't think I do good there. I think everyone's default is Assault as what they think they'd be capable at. And I get that. I understand that. It's entirely fair. I mean, I think that's the default for everybody. So that'd be the default for me. That's it for 21 questions. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. I'm Kent Swanson. That's Joel Penfield. We'll catch you later.